This road leads you to the airport. This road takes you to St. Thomas.
So this fort was built in 1656. It was first called Fort Cromwell. Then it was renamed Fort Charles in honor of King Charles II in 1660.
Hey guys, so right now we're on the airport road.
Yes, guys.
And we're heading to Port Royal.
Well, that photo, that painting, that portrait across is of Horatio Nelson, Sir Horatio Nelson. So turn around. Oh, see? She had some of the rum.
Yo, you know it's the Ren and Nessa show. You can get it right here. Come on over and take a tour. Sightseeings, all kind of location.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever try.
Hi guys, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from.
All across and all around the world.
And welcome back to our YouTube channel. If it's the first time you're here, guys, you're welcome.
Welcome,
And for
guys.
and for our long-time followers, thanks for the support.
Yes, guys, we appreciate it all.
Appreciate it. And today, guys, we're heading to Port Royal.
That is it.
Yeah, we're going to Port Royal, and we're going to check out some historical building over there. There's one specific building called Fort Charles.
Yes.
Fort Charles. Because of the hurricane just passed, we are not sure if Port Royal is open, but we're still going out there nevertheless
Yes, guys, and
to see what's going on.
that also being said, most of our adventure has been postponed because of the hurricane.
Our plans that we had to do outside. Alright, so you know what? Stay with us and go with us in this journey. Yeah guys, so right here now we are entering into the downtown area space.
But we're going to be more on the
Outskirt, the waterfront area.
The waterfront.
So we're gonna drive on the waterfront side to get to Port Royal. But one of these days we're gonna do a vlog into the downtown area. I wanna take you into downtown Kingston to show you a little about downtown Kingston. Because so right now we are on the Cement Factory Road, and then after this we will be going onto the airport road. And the airport is what I'm talking. The airport I'm talking about is the main airport in Jamaica, the Norman Manley Airport. We have two international airports in Jamaica, one in Montego, and the next one is in Hey guys, so right now we're on the airport road.
Yes, guys.
And we're heading to Port Royal. So this is the airport road. For those of you who have never come to Jamaica, this is the road leading to and from the airport. Alright, so this is the normal Manly airport that would have turned to go up to the airport. This is the roundabout for it. So if you continue straight to your right, you would have gone to the airport.
Right.
But now that we are going here to this is where the road leads you to Port Royal. So right now we are on the road to Port Royal, guys. Yeah, guys, so we are in Port Royal right now. So we are in Fort Charles. We're going to Fort Charles. That's where we're going right guys, up there, guys. Fort Charles. So we're in Port Royal right now, and you can feel the tone here. It's feel a little, as you can look, guys.
They have school over here, guys.
Yeah, the town look a little bit historical. Wonder which way to go to. Fort Charles. Morning, sir. Where do I drive to go to Fort Charles?
Fort Charles.
Yeah.
Straight down. Just straight down.
Respect here.
And on to the front.
Alright.
So now we're in like
The
the town.
and it's very quiet.
Yeah.
So I would say it's our first time coming to this side of Port Royal, so we have no idea where Fort Charles is, but that's where we want to go to. I think it's right over there. That's as you look, you can see those
Cannons.
Yeah, that's
Those
where
loose cannons.
I guess that's where they used to shoot after the
ships.
the pirates. I mean, and it's open. It's open. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to find out if this place is open or not. Okay. Alright guys, so we're here at the to get the ticket and sorry? Yeah. Fort Charles. And we have just received our ticket, guys, and one of this ticket is 1,500 in Jamaica, and how much in US? How much?
$10.
In $10 in US. It's pretty affordable, pretty cheap. So, you know, and I guess we're gonna learn a lot of stuff for this price. Okay guys, so well, let's go and see. And as you can look, guys, these buildings are historical. These are, well, I guess we're gonna learn all about these guys.
Bricks.
But this thing looked like it was a kind of big gun. You know? So let's go over there and see what's going on. Yeah, and this is the Fort Charles, guys. This is the Fort Charles, and let's go and learn about this historical thing. You know, there's a lot of information here, guys. You can read for yourself and find out what this place is about. You know what I mean? Let's go. I like the idea where them still have the building, but still the brick things. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, beautiful ladies? Nice.
pay for a tour.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh my God, is that a long time?
Take the left turn and you get a tour guide.
Left turn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay guys, so we are inside of the Fort Charles.
All right, so I'm Charmaine, and welcome to the fort.
Alright, Charmaine.
All right,
Thank you
so-
for having us.
Yeah. So this fort was built in 1656. It was first called Fort Cromwell. Then it was renamed Fort Charles in honor of King Charles II in 1660. The fort had 500 soldiers, started with 36 cannons, and they gradually grew to 104. So the ones across there, those are replicas, right?
Okay.
Yes. And those that you see outside, and the ones across here, including that one there, they are real cannons.
Oh.
There are more fakes around and real ones, right,
Okay.
when we get further away from here.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
So the fort is built on an island. And so once you have an island, you must have had the sea.
Right.
And so the sea was over on this side, and this land where the city sunk was over on the western side. Well, because of the 1692 earthquake, the formation of Port Royal changed, where they lost land on that side and gained land on this side.
Okay.
All right. So when we get further along in the tour, you learn what happened eventually. All right. So this tree is over 200 years old.
Yeah, because we were just talking about this
All right.
tree.
It's called a guango tree locally, but it is the Albizia Seaman. It was first discovered in South America, and so maybe the Spaniard had brought it here, right? It is known as the rain tree. Yes, and why it is called the rain tree? Because it is shaped like an umbrella.
Oh.
Right? It is also called the rain tree when it gets windy. It sounds like the rain is falling.
Yeah.
All right. It is also called 4 o'clock because by 4 p.m. the leaves started to close and get darker, change, and so it started to get droopy. The limbs will hang a bit lower, and so it is preparing for bed, for sleep. So it goes to sleep by 6 p.m. So it is also called the 6 o'clock tree.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
It bears pods that is used to feed the cows, the goats, and pigs, other animals.
Yeah.
All right. And the pod is also for human consumption.
Right.
It is said that it tastes like molasses.
Wow.
All right. So.
It's a strong tree though because it's been through a lot
Right,
of hurricanes.
right.
And we just passed through a hurricane just now and
Right,
it's still here.
right. Maybe because it is so low.
Yeah, the wind
yes,
just
yes.
go
If it is
on
not
that.
high,
Right.
yes. All right, and so the first magazine room was destroyed. It was built along with the fort. It got destroyed in the earthquake of 1692. And so in the 18th century, when Queen Victoria sent soldiers here, the one behind you was built here. So you can
Which one?
see
This one?
it is dark
Oh, okay.
from here because they built it with a little ventilation, right? Because they did not want the sunlight to go in and to set off the gunpowders. All right, so we're going to head there. So this is a magazine room that was built in 1807. All right, it was built from red bricks, limestone, sand, molasses. All right, and so it is built in this shape that if it was struck, it would not crumble to the ground. So it is much thicker and stronger than the one that was destroyed in the 1692 earthquake. All right, so this is how they would have stocked the gunpowders.
In these barrels?
Yes, not original.
Yeah,
but
right.
you know, yes, this is how they would have
stocked
stocked them in the kegs, right? And so gunpowders. And these the square boxes would have held the cannonballs.
Okay.
All right. The tall ones would have held the muskets. All right.
Wow.
The British came, they saw and they conquered, and so that's Union Jack.
So that's the reason why the British flag is there?
Right.
Okay.
How they built all the forts.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
and they, you know, they came and they took over Port Royal from the Spaniards and all right, so we're going there to this table here. All right. All right, so we are at the map of Port Royal. So this map is not on a scale, right? Well, the road that you drove on to come into Port Royal, it is called the Palisades. It did not exist before the earthquake of 1692. There were also no Kingston. All right, and so you see a split there. So it was not attached to Port Royal.
Oh, okay.
Port Royal was an island unto itself. All right. So the only way to come in back then was by the sea.
Oh.
And so you see the ships dock out there at Fort James.
Okay.
Fort James is where the city sunk. So Fort Walker was on that side. Fort James here. Fort Kylie and Fort Rupert. All right.
Is that a real skull?
No skulls are not real here. They're just props.
Yeah, just to show
All
what
right?
happened. Yeah.
Props was for, it is said that skulls were for skull heads were for bragging rights.
Bragging rights.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, at the city, there was approximately 6,500 persons across there. And so rounded figure, it is said that on the day of the earthquake of June the 7th, 7.5 on the scale, 2,000 persons died immediately.
Wow.
3,000 persons died in a couple of weeks from diseases and, injuries. Yes. Could be starvation also. Yes. And so, the survivors, well, I'm going to tell you how Kingston appear.
Right.
From my perspective is that Port Royal was on 51 acres of land.
Yeah.
On the day of the earthquake, 33 acres of land sunk 35 feet down. All right? And so, while 33 acres was going down, Kingston came up like a seesaw. All right? And so the survivors would have seen the new land, and they went there to settle and rebuild. All right. So at the city there were pubs, gambling houses, brothels, synagogue, and a church, right?
Right.
So Louis Galdi, I don't know if you have heard of the man that was swallowed in the earthquake back
Yes.
then. Well, he was a church warden, and so he was swallowed. Maybe roughly half an hour, put it there, and then he was spat out. So as a child growing up, I'm going to school, I always heard that Louis Galdi was spat out in Kingston.
In Kingston.
So
Yeah, we heard
maybe
that too.
he was put out on the land that came up and he was rescued. Well, he lived for 47 years, and within that time, he built the church that you pass on the left, coming down the St. Peter's Anglican Church.
Okay.
All right? So he died naturally and he was buried at Green Bay. That's across there. Well, it was said that Queen Elizabeth II, she came for a visit in 1953 and she went and visited Louis Galdi's gravesite. She did not like where he was buried, and so she had his remains removed and placed in his churchyard. So Louis Galdi was buried 3 times.
3 times.
All right. well.
Oh, God.
All right. So there are some keys, right?
Right.
Well, let us take a pin right there. The Palisades was formed when sand and silt was washed down from rivers. Hope River, Yalas River, the eastern and the northern side, right?
Right.
And so the Palisades became attached now, right? And so you could come in from that end. All right. So we're going now to the keys. All right, so Sandy Key is now called Maiden Key, and Maiden Key is where the yachts goes to, right?
Oh, okay.
There's a party boat that called the Loose Cannon that also go there. So if you don't own a yacht, you can still party at Maiden Key.
All right.
All right, and so you have to go down to Ribis, yes, and book your trip there, and so on. It is said that you party for 4 hours because I've never been on that trip,
No.
right? All right, so Lime Key is the most popular. And so if you're going to Lime Key, you have to bring your water, your food, and your drink. You have to clean up after yourself because nothing is provided there anymore, right? All right. So Gun Key it's situated somewhere behind us there. And so it had a gun that was used to protect the shoreline.
Okay.
All right. Now, then Rackham Key. So you could call this the second famous one.
Right.
Because Rackham Key is named after Calico Jack or Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Right.
Oh, you know, that was Calico Jack in Cayman.
Right. So John Rackham's his real name.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Rackham and his crew was caught in November 1720 in Negril. Taken to Spanish Town and tried. Well, the men, they were taken here. So I guess they were found guilty. So they were taken here, hung in the courtyard. And so his body was taken, along with some of his men, maybe the closer men, right? And they were taken to this key here.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got the name, the Rackham Key, because they placed him on the key like this.
Oh.
And they left his body there to rot.
Oh, that's why. That's,
Yeah,
that's
so
why you get the
with
name.
his arm outstretched
Rackham
like
Key.
that. And so they left his body there to rot, and so that's how we got the name.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it was the main entrance to come in, and so everybody would have seen him passing there, right?
Right.
And so they would have smelt him too. All right. And
Definitely.
so yes, so that was clearly to send a message. All right. So there were 2 women in the crew, and women were not allowed on ships back then.
No.
They had was to disguise themselves as men to pirate men. All right. So on the day of the trial in Spanish Town, those women revealed themselves and said they were women and pregnant. Right.
Oh.
All right, so I guess I knew the law of Britain that says not to hang pregnant women and children, and they use that as a means to escape the hangman noose. So they were also brought here, placed in the brig or the gall. It is now the male restroom on the fort. All right.
Okay.
So the oldest one of them, she was Mary Reed, and she died inside there from a fever 5 months after she was placed in the brig. The youngest, the lover of the pirate Rackham, she escaped. All right. Well, we're going to look in that direction.
Okay. Wow, there's so much I didn't even know
Well,
about my own country, man.
all right, hold on. Well, the fort here is
Right.
built like a battleship.
Yeah.
So right there,
Okay.
you see the stern at the back of the step.
Yeah.
All right, and so the the
Yeah.
step that led to that structure, the structure was the necessary house or the jack, and that's what the toilet.
Okay.
So, you know, pit latrine.
Right.
So there are 3 holes there, and servants would place pails and buckets in, and when they were filled up, they were taken out and placed on the ground for the night soil men.
Okay.
The night soil men would come and take it away to make fertilizer, so nothing was wasted.
Nothing wasted.
Right. Well, the urine was stored and then gathered by servants and placed in the wash area that was in the courtyard.
Wow.
All right. And so it will be placed in the sun until it becomes ammonia. It was used to wash the uniforms of the soldiers that were white, right? They were white. All right, so nothing was wasted, right?
Wow.
Well, it is said that along the right side, right there, was a mess deck, and that's where the soldiers ate.
Okay.
Yes, and so it was 6 at a time that took turns. Yes, and so you know some would be outside on ships and you know doing other menial works, and so all could not have eaten at one time. Well, the mess deck. So I'm perceiving that the toilet is right there. They ate here, so maybe that's how the name mess deck was
Mess deck.
created.
Ah, because they're
Yeah,
eating
were
just
eating
as too close to where.
too close in the same area.
Ah, okay.
And so you see the entrance now at the toilet is so short. So the soldier, everybody was short back then, not just the soldiers. So maybe it was a means of getting there quickly if somebody has a bad tummy, right? A bad tummy, right? A runny tummy.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going in that direction. No, but you could want to go and look there, right?
Yeah, let me go and see the yeah, guys, it's so informative, you know. And I would have advised any one of you guys that are watching this video and you're in Jamaica and you want to know some historical things about Jamaica. This is one of the places that you can actually visit.
The first stop.
Yeah, you know,
After the plane.
you know, and then you can go to the
Watch
beach.
your heads.
Yeah.
Watch your head. Sharp people.
So this was actually their latrines.
It's a replica, yeah.
Yeah.
And what it looks back then.
So this is where they used to pass the waste.
And behind
Back then.
outside, facing you that way, is a Prince of Wales line.
Oh,
Prince of Wales line.
Okay.
right.
And so the Prince of Wales line travel further behind the church and goes to where Henry Morgan had his fort.
Oh,
The white stone wall that you saw coming in on the left.
right. Okay.
All right, that's where he had his fort.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna go in that direction.
Okay.
So that blue and white house, that's where we're going to enter, and that's the post commander's quarters.
And I'm so happy that you could be a part of this, learning along with us.
I didn't learn this in school. Did they teach all this in school?
So it's like trips.
No, they only told us about Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, you don't
Right.
teach with them thing in school.
No.
These are school trips.
All right, so
Alright, so we're entering the post commander's quarters.
okay.
And so the post commander, you know, would have been living luxuriously. Alright, because he had a roof over his head.
Yeah.
Alright. And so he was the boss. So whoever was post here. Alright. And so, you know, they could have something to drink that was strong. Well, what I knew that they had was rum and water, and it is called grog. Jerry G.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the bed is low because back then persons were short. So they could easily get on and off. They could get on and off, right? Well, they could have the commanders could have their possessions shipped from the UK because of their status and, you know, privileges. The common soldiers would only have what was issued to them
Right.
by the officers here, like the rations, that's the food, the clothing, the uniforms, the weapons, the mops, the broom, the bed linens. All right. Well, you can see that the wardrobe is authentic.
Yes.
Well, that photo, that painting, that portrait across here is of Horatio Nelson, Sir Horatio Nelson. He was a commander or an admiral. Well, he fought in the Battle of Trafalgar and he was shot. He died eventually.
Okay.
Well, you know, back then when somebody was dead and they transported them in a barrel of rum.
Right. Rum? Oh, that's how they used to store them back then?
Yes. And so whoever was transporting him, they drank the rum.
What?
And they said it was to gain knowledge. Well, we know that is impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they must have just been greedy, right?
Right.
Right. They just wanted the
Is
rum.
that his wife?
Eh?
That's the wife?
Well, no. Well, I don't know who she is really. and you know, when I
Anyone
Google, I got a
girlfriend,
lot of confusion names, right?
Right.
Most women would carry themselves like that back then. All right. So shoes were made in mass production. There were no left or right. I remember I said they were short people, so these couldn't have been their shoes, but these are replicas.
Yeah, because these look like two
made
left foot.
in what the shoes look like back then.
Oh.
All right, so in 2020, I believe these shoes were brought here. And so, you know, the men would have done their costume and, you know, things was going on because ships were coming in droves and every week had 2-3 ships until COVID came.
Oh, okay.
And slowed things down. All right? So there were no left?
No, right.
All right. They were just shoes.
All right. And these were the clothes that they wear?
Well, a replica of the uniforms and so on.
Oh, okay.
All right. So.
Nice.
All right. So the commander wouldn't have wanted to go and use the toilet that you were just coming from, right?
Right.
Outside. They would have wanted the chamber pot. Their own chamber pot and a jar, because you saw a jar there, right?
Right.
So this is just for display, you know?
Yeah, this is how they.
All right,
yeah.
so back then there were no toilet paper, no toiletries, and so, you know, the right hand would have held the jar with the water and the left hand was used to clean themselves. So universally, you know, we don't shake with the left hand because it's that hand, right?
They used to.
The dirty, the hand, right?
tissue hand.
Yes. And so the Muslims, the Hindus, the Asians, and the Africans, I believe they still carry, some of them still practice that tradition. And, you know, some might be moving away because, you know, the millenniums, you know, they're kind of problem child, right? Yes, all right?
They're diverting.
Yes, them diverting. All right? Yes. And so that's why we don't shake with the right hand. Those that I mentioned, they don't eat or touch their food with their left hand.
With their left hand?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Nice.
Well, we're going to go to the next,
No
the
problem.
next building across here. Watch your
problem.
steps.
Guys, stay tuned. If you're watching this video to this far, make sure you give us a like. Yeah, give us a like and share the video, okay?
So we are entering the quartermaster.
The quartermaster.
And the quartermaster, all right, and the quartermaster is where the officer slept that issue the stuff I mentioned, right? The mops, the broom, the bed linen, the rations, you know, all of those stuff.
Right.
And uniforms and weapons. So, free and enslaved. So they slept on, so they slept on bunk beds, officers. These are replicas.
Okay.
All right, yes. And back then, it was 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom.
And this, somewhere,
They breathe in each other's faces,
my God.
and they caught the yellow fever, and it spread rapidly.
Okay.
You know, that killed a lot of soldiers, right? British engineers. So when you go outside on the left, you see an arch outside on the left that is dedicated to the soldiers that died from the yellow fever. All right, so come back around to this. So free and enslaved blacks or Africans, they were used to bolster the British Army in the 17th to the 18th centuries. They were called the West India Regiments. That's how blacks get to enter the army, you know, because of that. So they say sometimes out of bad come good, right? And they continue to enlist even when they ended the regiments.
Because when they're strong.
When they stop, yes, yes. They were used to bolster black, yes. All right, they like to use us. Yeah. All right, so black. Well, when they ended the regiment, you know, you have the JDF. Jamaica Defense Force.
That's where JDF's coming.
And they kept a part of the regiment. All right, they kept a part of the regiment, and so they kept the band. Because we have the JDF has the regiment band that plays on special occasions. All right. Yes. All right. Like as for one, the Heroes Day thing that they have there, awards. Yes.
That's good. Good to know that.
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't even know that.
So slavery. So you know, this is how they would have transported them and also sold them. Do you know about Black Friday? Do you know anything about Black Friday?
Black Friday?
Black Friday. Well, Black Friday is when they sold slaves cheaply, when they have excess amount of slaves, and so that's how they sell them. And
so that's why they're selling stuff cheap.
It became modernized. Right.
So that's why you have cheap stuff on Black Friday. So it was the slaves that they used to sell back then.
Sold them back then cheaply on a Friday, and so when you don't know, you don't know. So blacks shouldn't have been partaking. All right, so
see guys, that's why you need to come here to learn all this.
So there were 2 major earthquakes. One on June the 7th, 1692, it was a 7.5 on the scale that sank the city.
Right. Second
major earthquake was the Great Kingston earthquake, which happened on January the 14th, 1907. It is called the Great Kingston earthquake because it was mostly felt in Kingston. All right. So these are paintings of downtown Kingston. And so this is Arbor Street, and this is King Street. And there was a fire there that lasted for over 4 days. Yes.
Fire?
Yes. Whole map of Africa. Yes. Well, you can put it beside the new one if you have one.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so these are the pirates, right? Portraits are paintings of the pirates. So these are the pirate women. So this one is the one that died in the brig from the fever, the eldest one. She was Mary Read, the youngest, and Bunny. All right, and she was the one that escaped. She was the lover of the pirate Calico Jack, or Jack Sparrow. And his real name was John Rackham.
So this is Jack?
Yes, yes.
That's why they made the name.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Pirates.
You did take a video of this one?
Yeah.
All right. And Sir Henry Morgan. So Sir Henry Morgan, yes, and it is said that he was a buccaneer. Buccaneer sold meat back then. Then he was given a license as a privateer. Must have been doing something great, right? And so the British, gave him that license, and it was to get rid of the pirates and the Spaniards.
Wow.
All right. And so, you know, accomplished. So they made him the first lieutenant governor of Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So he must have done a great job, right? So this is a early map of Jamaica. So you see precincts were back then, not parishes. These are mountains, plantations. Notice that some of the parishes are now are different.
Are different, yeah.
So St. George would have been is now Portland.
Oh,
Yes, St. Marie is now St. Mary.
St. Marie.
Yes, and you see St. Andrew there. But what you have not seen is Kingston.
But they teach everything at school.
So you don't see Kingston, right? Because Port Royal went down.
Oh,
And
okay.
Kingston came up.
Okay.
So Kingston is now on the map in that area. Right?
Okay.
Because I like this. I love this material.
Yeah. Oh, that's how Kingston come about.
St. Elizabeth here was separate.
Right.
Lisa and Beth.
They are now put together, right?
Together.
Yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful.
So pirates have their own identities, their own flags, right?
Right.
So when you see this one coming, it will be the most notorious Blackbeard Edward Teach. All right?
Okay.
Yes. So these two, they don't have much significance that I know of, but
Yeah.
this one, Donald Ireland,
Right.
from Ireland, Henry Every, Ireland. This one now, this is the wealthiest. Black Samuel Bellamy, and he was a Jolly. It was a Jolly Roger. It is a Jolly Rogers, I should say. All right, and you know this is the one that you see on everything, like the poison buckle at the bars, on clothes.
Yes,
and
that's the one you always say. So it's a danger.
All right, so before we go, this is the back, right, where the Giddy house is located.
Oh, okay.
See it in the background there. So here we have a train line, and this train line was destroyed in the 1907 earthquake.
Oh.
When we get around to the back, I'll tell you more about it, what it was used for.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to go this way.
Beautiful.
So we're going to go and now and view the barracks. So watch your steps.
Barracks.
Be careful.
Barracks sound like
Where
army.
soldiers slept.
Yeah.
All right. So you know we had a storm. So,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, just there.
Yes. All right.
Ah.
So remember I said 2 to the top and 2 to the bottom.
Right.
Yes. And so the beds were much closer back then. All right. Yes, and you know they're breathing each other's faces, caught yellow fever, and they learned their lesson because I'm now told that soldiers don't not sleep head to head anymore.
Yeah.
They sleep head to tail, head and tail.
Head and tail.
All right, so you know I told you about the grog.
Right.
So you see those bottles, right? And so rum and water they had back then. All right, so rum and water it seems was first drank here by the British. All right. When we get to the back, I'll elaborate more about the grog and tell you how it came about. All right.
Okay.
So to the right, that's a courtyard. Yes.
All right.
Peep to the right, you said.
Yeah, that's the courtyard.
Oh, that's cool, yeah?
Yes. And so avoid showing most of that because you know it's an old fort and stuff comes up, all right?
Yeah.
So.
Before we go, what is inside this room?
Oh, it's a storehouse.
Oh, yes, that's it.
All right, so remember I said the first magazine room was
okay.
destroyed in the earthquake of 1692.
Nice.
It was a round building. See the brick area right there? And so I believe the steps were built in the 18th centuries.
Oh, okay.
All right, when soldiers were sent here. So across there where you see those barrels, that was a wash area. All right, where they placed the urine. So these guns are real cannons.
These are real?
Yeah, man. And so the ones on the end, the smaller ones, would have been fired, used to fire at intruders, and the body would have come onto the fort.
Oh.
Right, so this is the famous jail
Oh, okay.
where the women were placed in. It is now the male restroom.
Okay.
You can have a look.
Yeah, she said we can go look inside.
So guys, she said this is the famous jail. The brig. The
Yeah.
brig here.
But now it is
Restroom.
it's a restroom. So this is where they used to hold the pirates when they catch them. When the soldiers catch a pirate, this is where they would have prisoned them.
All right, so as I was saying, the fort is built like a battleship.
Wow.
Did you get that? The
Yeah.
fort is built like a battleship.
Wow.
And why it is built like a battleship, it was a trick those at sea would have seen it back then because it was much higher. The sea was closer. And so would have tricked those at sea would have seen it and thought it was a real ship. And if they had come closer, they would have been surprised. It's a fort. Well,
That's smart.
nobody came to really challenge this fort, you know? Yes, because if the British came and got rid of everybody, I figure persons would be scared to return, to retaliate. All right. So we're on the upper gun deck. All right, so you're going to look across to the eastern side. And you see how far the sea is?
Yeah.
Well, the sea was close by to the fort.
Very close.
Oh, the same sand and silt that push, that form the palisadoes is the same sand and silt that push the sea and push it all the way back across there. And so we gain land. Right?
Okay.
Yes. So the sea was outside there. So the sea was across here.
The sea would come back?
Was around. Well, I would say the sea comes back, you know.
That's why
the
they
sea
put
comes back
I will see.
underground. So
Okay.
it runs back underground. So it hasn't, well, we could say it has never left. It's just not in our sight. But you see that body of water across there? Sometimes it is filled up with the sea running from underground, right?
Yeah.
In the high tide, so it comes over there. But no, we had a storm the other day, or a hurricane, and so that is why it is so filled up now.
Just to add, the hurricane
Port Royal?
Oh, no. Port Royal people are stubborn when it comes on to that. Yes. They're stubborn. They'll say the reefs outside there protect them. All right? And it is proven time and time again. So what you're going to say,
Exactly.
it's going to be harder for them to leave. It's harder for you to get them to leave because they have proven it that, you know,
like
they are safe.
Yeah.
All right, so look across that area. You see that round roof building, the dark one across there with the white peak?
You're
It's
right.
an old naval hospital built in 1880 from prefabricated metals imported from Britain. So it is made to sway to the rhythm of the disaster, whichever one it is. And so it is safe, right?
Nice.
So that would be a safe haven for disaster, right?
Yeah, because it arrived with the wind.
Yes. All right. So look across there. You see the tower, right?
Right.
And so that's right at the tower is the bow for the battleship, right?
Oh.
Yes. So the bow, that's the front, and where the restroom and the toilet is.
Okay.
The necessary house,
Right.
that's the stern, the back. And then we're on the upper deck, and below is the lower deck or the quarter deck.
Oh.
So it is built
They
like
build
a
this
battleship.
real good like a ship. Wow.
So look across now to the western side.
Right.
You see that red thing in the sea, the buoy?
Yes.
Yes, our buoy, some persons call it.
Right.
So that's the landmark for the sunken city right across there.
Right.
Yes. See this plane above?
Yeah. And that's heading to the airport?
Yes.
Nice. Wow. My God.
So the guns on the ground,
Yeah.
the real ones.
Oh, the ones on the
fake
ground?
ones are at the top there.
Oh.
Eh?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, guys, so these are the real guns. Man, these are the real ones, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like.
And the ones I show you down here.
Yeah, those are real
So
too.
come close, you can look at them from the top. Yes. So you see the markings on them.
Oh, so
From up here?
Yeah.
So you see the markings.
Oh, yeah.
The signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be Elizabeth, Regina, R-E-R, Regina means queen.
Okay.
Yes. And the rose.
And the rose, right?
Yes.
Huh?
They said it was slaves who invented wrought iron. And it was taken from, the patent was taken from them.
Real guns.
Yes. All right. Blacks are the ones that created a lot of stuff that persons are using now. Yes. Even the computers and all of these stuff. Some of the wooden structures was destroyed in the earthquake of 1692. And then in 1951, Hurricane Charlie. And so they refurbished, yes. And so these beams were imported from Belize.
Oh,
Yes.
strong.
Well, it is said that this is the central point of Jamaica where Jamaica started from.
Here.
Oh, yes.
Where we are right
yes.
now.
Where the survey department placed that there. And so the Flagstaff was destroyed in the hurricane of 1951 and replaced by a bolt in 1952.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So here must have where the cardinal points.
So, Van, we are at a famous spot.
Yes.
1 year old.
This is where Jamaica started, guys. Right here.
It is also said time was here. And so the Greenwich Mean Time was also taken from right here, brought to the UK.
I'm a button panel. Wow, guys, so historical. Knowledge is good.
So my joke is when we go around to the back, we are across the border.
We across the border.
This way to the Giddy House.
To
Watch
the
your
Giddy
heads,
House.
please.
Yeah. The Gideons, that's the house I want to see.
All right?
Because,
That's the only thing I said.
yeah, that's holding up
All right,
Port
so you remember I showed you a train line inside.
Right.
And so it started from right here. And so it travels across there, goes around.
Okay.
And run under that round hole, but that hole was high above sea level back then.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna put a stop to the train line until we get closer.
Until we get closer.
All right, so
No
in the 18th centuries, Queen Victoria, she sent soldiers here, right?
Right.
When they came to the fort, they said that the guns at the fort was useless. Why? Because they could not fire from here to the direction, to the distance you saw the sea at, right?
Okay.
All right. And so they had to go closer to the shoreline. And so they built those two structures you see up ahead. The one on the left is the Victoria Battery, named after the Queen, right? And so it was high above sea level. It had a periscope where they could look out to see what was approaching. Well, they know nothing came, right?
Right.
Well, on the left, you see that mechanism there?
Yeah.
I call it the wheel. All right, so it could turn at a 180-degree angle.
Shoot.
All right, and so 180 would be that way coming around, right? And then it would have pointed across there. It could not have turned onto the fort. Yes. There's a barrier there anyways, and I'm going to point out that barrier. But before we go further, let's talk about the gun that was attached to the wheel.
Okay.
So the wheel was embedded inside the hole, and this gun across there on the right was placed on it.
Oh, okay.
So the gun on the right,
and the wheel.
yes, so the gun on the right weighs 22 tons, and that's 44,000 pounds.
Wow.
It could fire 6 miles out to sea.
Yeah.
It was operated by 5 soldiers.
5
So
soldiers.
it is built in so it's a breech-loaded gun. And so it is built in the Moncrief Hydro pneumatic design.
Okay.
So there was a boiler house here, supply the gun with the steam, the boiling water,
Right.
and it used a shell.
Oh.
I don't know what the shell looked like. Well, they'd have placed the shell, the steam, the water inside. They'd have closed the back. The water, I guess, would have built up. and so you'd have that energy to propel the missile, right?
Okay.
6 miles out.
6 miles.
Yes.
You know, Farnham?
Ah,
Well,
Spanish too.
the fort was high and you know above, I guess above sea level, and then the earthquake came and it sank. They would have to go closer to the shoreline, so they got to build something as high above sea level also. All right, and that's what they did. So even though it is that low, it gradually comes down to that level.
Wow.
So when the earthquake struck in 1907, it did not come down quickly.
Right.
That it
Take a
came
little
down with
while,
time,
yeah.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, because persons from Portugal will tell you that they used to go inside and play because there's a tunnel underground there.
Underneath.
When we get further, after we leave the house, then I tell you about the tunnel.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to tell you now about the grog.
Right.
Rum and water is called grog.
Okay.
Well, the soldiers were given rum to add to the water back then because of bacteria. They disobeyed. And what they did was store the rum and drank it, right? And they were punished by an admiral.
So
the instruction from the admiral was not to give them the rum anymore. But the
okay.
rum should be added to the water and then given to them. He created cocktail. Cocktail is when you add alcohol to whatever you're drinking. It doesn't matter if it is lemonade.
Right.
Well, when you go into the Royal Artillery Store, which is now known as the Giddy House, you're going to feel like those soldiers, right? And tipsy, topsy-turvy. All right. So, there's no straight line inside here. Yes. All right, so this is because this tree was loaded with rotted tamarind. Yes, and you know in Jamaica we say tambourine, but it's the same thing.
Right.
And so they would come down because of the storm. All right, so there's no straight line in here. You know, the police said to walk the line, the white line, to see if you are drunken. Well, you're going to try to walk in a straight line to that point, to that round thing on the wall, and then you turn around and get back.
All right.
So who's going to try to walk the straight line? All right? So you should show that you're not drunk.
All right. Make sure you're not drunk, you never.
So turn around. Oh, see? She had some of the rum.
You had the rum back.
It's just like that, you can't help it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me try it. Let me try this and see how it feels.
It is.
Yeah, you can feel it from the moment you step here. Yeah.
Turn around and then you come back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel it.
Like some dragging.
So yeah, like you want to go more to this side. To your left.
I had a father with 2 girls one day.
Yeah.
And when they went inside, the man started running with those kids. And I said, where you going? And him said, I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. And the kid said, we want to stay. And he said, no, let's go.
Yeah, you can actually feel it.
Yeah, and he ran with those kids, you know. At the first experience, I was so embarrassed. You know, because I just knew it is linked because of the earthquake.
Right.
Yeah.
And then because the equilibrium in your head, the liquid in your head, you know, it get disturbed and unbalanced. The man ran as if he saw a ghost. Yeah,
must be enough.
yeah, all right. So you see the water comes up from underground.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because of the high tide, and we had the hurricane the other day. Watch your steps, please.
Wow. This is the tambourine tree, guys.
Yes.
Tambourine.
Yes, but you have to remember to say tamarind too, because it's not just the Caribbean people that is watching, right?
Yeah.
All right, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're all black.
Yeah.
Black. So the British built a tunnel leading from inside the battery, going to your right.
Okay.
4 underground bunkers. I know bunkers is where they would have hid stuff, and also they could have escaped if they were attacked. Yes, so that's one air vent there.
Okay.
Yes, going across. They lost some of the air vents. And
All of
that's
these
the
are
only
natural
one
stuff
here.
we're looking at.
All right. All right.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're at the battery. All right. So the British. So here it's called a parapet right here.
Parapet.
Yes. And so soldiers will be hidden here, under here, waiting for the gun across there that would recoil when it was fired. And so they would have reloaded and sent back in. And remember, here was high above sea level, so it wasn't this low back then.
Okay.
The markings of 180 degrees. And so it from there, from around here, this is a barrier here where the gun would have recoiled on.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful.
Yes. So this was high above sea level. Remember I told you about the train line. So when the train line gets here, it ran underground.
Underground.
Goes out a little out of Port Royal to Fort Rocky.
Fort
Rocky is a ruins on the left when you're coming in.
Right.
And so it is now an entertainment spot.
Fort
it is
Rocky,
now marked as an entertainment spot by the Honorable Babsy Grange.
Okay.
All right. So
step over there.
All right, and it is in ruins. So I would not say the stuff were destroyed in the earthquake of 1907. They were damaged because they still exist, right?
Right.
Yes. All right, so those air vents were placed there to prevent the soldiers that was under the parapet from stifling.
Okay.
All right, yes.
Wow.
So that's the main entry to come in. Yes.
Gotcha.
All right, so there's a plot there that has a blueprint of the gun and also tell you about the attachment from here to Fort Rocky.
Okay.
So sorry that you come when the gun is not working because the gun would have gone in a simulation to have gone up to show yes how high it could go and so on. Yes, maybe next time. Jamaica was the first in the Western Hemisphere to have railroads, stoplights, electricity, tap water, telephones.
All right.
Before the Americas. All right. So the only thing you haven't seen as it is the cannonballs.
Yeah.
And then we end the tour.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to head in that direction.
Nice.
Head to the left. It's the cannonballs.
Yeah.
And then we end the tour.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to head in that direction.
Nice.
Head to the left. Lots of persons came on a bus. It's the end of the tour and thank you for coming.
Tour.
Yeah, guys. So,
and so you could go to IG, Port Charles, and leave a comment.
Definitely.
My name is Charmaine.
Charmaine. Okay.
Definitely.
Guys, there you have it. This is the end of an epic, historical, educated, informative tour, guys.
Yeah, well said.
Our tour guide is the one of the best. So if you should, Charmaine, so if you ever come here to Fort Charles, please ask for Charmaine Jones.
Yes,
she
guys.
is really good.
No,
she's a little bit camera shy. I'm just kidding. It's because of her job at Portugal. That's why we're not showing her.
Yes, guys.
But guys, that was good. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying us. And make sure you like, share,
and subscribe. Guys.
See you.
Thank you guys, we appreciate it so much, and we're happy that you're part of this tour with us, learning along as well. I appreciate it, guys.
Very much. So see you guys in the next video.